This is Nashville, Tennessee, and it looks ugly there. The roads are sloppy. They have light snow falling, but portions of Tennessee are getting some pretty heavy snow right now. Western Tennessee, let's take you to the first alert satellite and radar picture. Here you see Waverly, Tennessee getting those deep purples. That's about an inch of snow per hour. And then as you look down the state, you'll see the purple. That's freezing rain, which the storm expects to bring a lot of. And then in this more salmon color, that's the sleet. And here at home, we're going to see snow, a lot of it, before a transition to sleet moving through late tomorrow afternoon. But here's the storm system. Right now, snow already making its way into Virginia. Impacts are all the way back into New Mexico and Texas. We have two low pressure systems, one coming out of the Gulf. This is essentially the primary low right now. But then tonight, another one forms off of the southeastern coast, and that will roll up the shoreline. The two of these together make for what will be a megastorm across the continental U.S. So here we see some of the reports already coming in out of the storm. Lots of ice reports, lots of snow reports as well. And here at home, by tomorrow, we anticipate seeing much of the same. Here are the winter weather alerts, and you can see they span from New England all the way to Maine, back on down through New Mexico, all the way down into the deep south. It is frigid across a large portion of the country. And of course, this epic cold means that the precipitation that falls for so many of us will be in the form of snow. Locally, we have a winter storm warning goes into play in the morning, 3 a.m. That's when we start to see the snow falling here at home, and it runs all the way through Monday at 6 p.m. Not because we expect to see snow necessarily that late in the day on Monday, but the impacts will still be dealt with at that point in the game. Now, live outside right now, you're like, hey, it's not snowing yet, and it won't be for quite some time. But in the short term, what we'll see are the clouds starting to fill in and will remain frigid but dry for the moment. It's 17 right now, feeling like 9 degrees. The chills are sub-zero out on the island. Bayshore feeling like 1 below. Bridgeport on the plus side at 1. In Somerville feeling like 7, and Toms River feeling like 6. It is frigid overnight as that snow begins to fall. So moving forward now on the forecast, let's send it over to my colleague Scott Paget. He'll show you what the storm drops down.
Hey, Vanessa, and we're still looking at some impressive amounts as well. So you take that live look outside, as Vanessa mentioned. Yeah, it's looking nice and quiet as you're preparing for the storm. But let's break down this timeline even more for you. So as we're looking at it, as we go into about 3 in the morning to 7 in the morning, we see the snow moving its way on in. Light to moderate snow. Then between about 7 to, let's back that up real fast if we can. Matt, I want to get back to that second one for us. But even as we go into the afternoon hours, there you see, then by the time we go to 7 to 2, the snow becomes heavy. Snowfall rate of 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. Now let's advance that on just a little bit more for you. And you can see as we then go into the evening hours, 2 to 10, we're to be still seeing the snow continuing the city and north, but then mixing south and east of the city, but now looking possibly more in the city as well, with the sleet mainly the biggest to switch on over for us. And that mixing changes back to snow by late on Sunday into Monday. So that's something that we're keeping our eyes on as well. Let's go ahead and pop up a box here for you to show you exactly what's going on as far as the Futurecast is concerned. So you saw the timeline, but look at this. You can see the snow moving its way on in as we're going to about 3 to 4 o'clock. It's going to be from southwest to the north and the east. I think in the city, by the time a lot of us are maybe waking up 6 to 7 o'clock, and then pretty much almost all of the tri-state, we have the snow that is falling. These snowfall rates are going to be pretty impressive, so I expect accumulation to happen pretty fast. Where you see this darker blue color, that also indicates some of the heavier snow. But then you start to notice more of that salmon color, as Vanessa was mentioning with the storm right now. That's going to work its way on in for us. So that pink color as well, indicating the sleet that we expect now through a good portion of the city as we go through the late afternoon to then the evening hours. Maybe a switch over to cold rain if this holds true for us. We're going to be seeing that also affect our totals just a little bit by late Sunday, then into Monday. It starts to taper off. Maybe Sullivan, Ulster, Dutchess County seeing some wraparound snow still sticking around for us, and temperatures remaining cold. So here is a look at least for Central Park. The forecast models. The Europeans still saying near a foot, Graph saying more than 8 inches, the NAM about 7, and GFS about 9. So with that in mind, this is our thinking. Still 8 to 12 inches of a snow accumulation. That does include the city. Down the Jersey Shore, a little bit less because of that mixing. Further north and west you go, higher amounts. We're looking at 18 inches or higher through parts of the Hudson Valley, as you see Sullivan, Ulster, Dutchess, as well stretching back to Pike, 12 to 18 through parts of Passaic, Bergen as well. So it's going to be a significant snow event. What has changed, though, is the ice accumulation. This, as you can see right now, possibly of a quarter of an inch of ice in the city. But we have an update now coming out from Governor Sherrill. More on the preps there.
Emergency Management, David Sorotowicz, President and CEO of New Jersey Transit, Chris Calori, Department of Transportation Acting Commissioner Joe Bertoni, and Port Director Beth Rooney. Yesterday, I signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency in all 21 counties here in New Jersey as we continue to prepare for dangerous weather beginning tonight and especially on Sunday. At 5 p.m. Eastern Time today, it allows certain state agencies to take additional steps to protect the health and safety of New Jersey residents. Out of an abundance of caution, considering the dangerous road conditions that we are anticipating, we also announced commercial vehicle travel restrictions. This goes into effect at midnight tonight. I did not take this decision lightly, and we have also coordinated with Pennsylvania to ensure we're all getting our citizens the best and most up-to-date information possible. To be clear, personnel carrying food, fuel, and medical supplies are exempt, as are utility companies, public safety vehicles, and essential personnel. There continues to be plenty of salt at the port for counties and municipalities who need it, and Port Director Beth Rooney will share more. I also said yesterday that we would continue to monitor weather conditions and update decisions that impact travel as appropriate. I've received several briefings and updates from the National Weather Service and have been in constant communication with our emergency operations teams today. We are still expecting dangerous weather, including heavy snowfall, extreme cold, ice, and wind up to 30 miles per hour. So here is the latest. We're currently expecting 4 to 6 inches of snow along the coast, 6 to 10 inches in South and Central Jersey, and 8 to 14 up in North Jersey. We are expecting a storm the likes of which we haven't seen in years. It is going to present very dangerous conditions for travel. Beginning at 7 a.m., we expect heavy snowfall in South Jersey. So starting very early, some of the heaviest snowfall in the South will start about 7 a.m. We expect that to continue, and then at noon turn over to a wintry mix. This is actually not great news, given that that could really present a very icy condition with more danger for travelers. In North Jersey, we expect heavy snow to begin around 10 and last until 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And these are blizzard-like conditions, 1 to 2 inches per hour coming down during these periods of time. And even though, as I said, there is less snow now forecast for South Jersey, we are very concerned about the wintry mix. The roads are very cold. There will be accumulation. There will be ice. On the ground, we are not going to see the temperatures go much above freezing, so we are really going to have some dangerous conditions. Based on these updated forecasts and to protect the safety of the people of New Jersey, I'm temporarily suspending bus, light rail, and access link service system-wide for the full service day on Sunday. This is effective beginning at about 4 a.m. on Sunday until the conditions allow for a ramp up and the resumption of service. We will be continuing to monitor forecasts and conditions on the ground. We'll be operating the commuter rail system until 2 p.m. on Sunday. 2 p.m. Sunday. So you need to be on a train getting to where you need to go by 2, because then things are shutting down until we can get service back up based again on forecast and conditions on the ground. We'll communicate service levels for Monday as the storm impacts are assessed throughout the day on Sunday. The Department of Transportation will also be announcing temporary speed reductions, and the acting commissioner will speak to those. I've asked our team to closely brief me on the developing conditions so we can make modifications as needed. Again, This decision was based on the most recent forecast and made with public safety at the top of mind. We are the most densely populated state in the nation, and we take our jobs, first and foremost, to keep our residents safe, incredibly seriously. So I'm going to reiterate, stay off the roads on Sunday. Starting tonight, we are going to see dangerous conditions forming. It's a good weekend to stay indoors. If you need to make a last run to the grocery store or Home Depot, get it done now. Get this done today. Anything you need, go out today and grab it, and plan to stay off the roads tomorrow. Keep your devices charged, whether that's your phone or computer. Do not commit to anything Monday morning. Check on your neighbors, especially seniors, during the storm to make sure they're doing okay and they don't need anything. Go to ready.nj.gov for more information. And I know the people of New Jersey are pretty pragmatic. I know you guys got this. Your teenage kids may not have this, so make sure you're checking in on them. Keep them off the roads. Thank you. So now I'm going to turn this over to Acting Superintendent of the State Police, David Sirotowicz. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I just want to reiterate that this will be a major storm. Our snow accumulations may have gone down, but icing is still a major concern. If you do not have to be on the roads, please, we urge you, stay home. Allow our plows and our emergency service personnel to effectively perform their duties and get our roadways and our state open again as quick as possible. If you do have to be on the roadway and you see an emergency vehicle, please, with their lights activated, slow down and move over. Allow them room to perform their duties. Thank you very much. Please be safe tomorrow.
Governor, thank you. When you oversee the largest statewide transportation system in the country, your goal isn't to just get people somewhere when you think things are okay. You got to focus, especially making sure they get somewhere safely when things are not okay. When you have a 2,000-mile wide storm with snow, ice, and wind, your primary job is to make sure you are watching out for the safety of your customers, your employees. That's what we're trying to do. So when we gave the governor our recommendation, it was based on that prudent judgment that it is better to secure the service and temporarily suspend it, and we can resume it as soon as the snow is over, as the conditions allow. While the snowstorm is ongoing, our crews are going to be out there maintaining the fleet, clearing the snow, and yes, even plow the rails, just to make sure we get everything in order to resume service as soon as it is practical. I predict that the bus service will be out first as soon as the conditions allow. I just want to reemphasize what the governor has been trying to say the entire time, and I think it is so important. We want to make sure that the residents of the state of New Jersey are safe. That is our focus and our singular focus. Once we get through the storm, we will ramp back the service as quickly as possible so people can get on with their lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone. Given the latest forecast and out of abundance of caution for public safety, speed restrictions of 35 miles per hour will be placed on the New Jersey Turnpike, Garden State Parkway, Atlantic City Expressway, and all state and interstate highways beginning at midnight tonight. These restrictions will remain in effect until conditions warrant. We strongly encourage you not to be on the roads. If you absolutely positively have to be on the roads, we ask that you proceed with extreme caution and be mindful of our plow crews. Please do not attempt to pass our plow crews. Thank you, and stay safe.
Good afternoon. So with regards to the port and port operations, We have 3 different road salt purveyors. All of them have been working around the clock for the last 4 days preparing and helping us prepare for the storm. We have over 300,000 metric tons of salt currently available at the port. And our companies that provide the salt, Morton Salt, who we're most familiar with from the table salt, Atlantic Salt and Prieta Salt, are all delivering out combined about 50,000 metric tons of salt a day for the last 72 hours. They will continue to do so until conditions deteriorate tomorrow and they're not able to do that. We also have 3 additional ships that are inbound with more salt to come. So the salt is here, the salt is moving. It's moving out as fast and as safely as it can to all of those who need it. And the port, again, stands by and ready to support the safety of New Jersey and all of its residents throughout this storm. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we're ready for any on-topic questions.
What does New Jersey Transit trains look like for Monday morning? How long is it going to take to ramp up? And for anyone, what is the recommendations for schools? I know it's an individual decision.
We will be assessing schools and the state employees as we see what the storm comes in like. We'll assess the conditions on the ground and then make decisions on schools.
The resumption of service of the entire fleet, whether it is for bus, light rail, or commuter rail, is all dependent on the condition. As I said, I think conditions permitting, I think bus service will probably resume first, and then others following. Again, as you also know, that our commuter rail is heavily dependent on Amtrak. We will be in coordination with them to make sure we can resume service safely and efficiently.
You have a ramp-up time. Should people expect to have trains Monday morning?
We will alert them as we understand what the storm is doing, but rest assured, we will get the service back as quickly as possible. But I want to be clear, I will not compromise on the safety of the residents of the state of New Jersey, and my recommendation will always be consistent with that.
Well, thank you all so much. I appreciate you, and we will continue to update you as we get more information. Thank you again.
All right, that was Governor Sherrill giving an update again as this massive storm will continue to work its way to the north and the east. So you can see right now just that last look at the satellite and radar combined, already dropping snow from parts of Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, all the way down through parts of Texas. On top of that, freezing rain and sleet. We will continue to give you updates on this first alert weather day at the top of every single hour. And of course, those latest snow totals coming up today on CBS New York right around about 6 o'clock for us. Here's a live look at Nashville, already seeing right now that the slushy snow is there as they have a little bit of a break before more sleet and freezing rain moves its way on in.
This has been a First Alert Weather Special Report.
Well, it's day 13 of the nurses' strike in New York City, days after resuming negotiations. Nurses say they're not any closer to reaching a deal.
I say to our bosses, with this offer that they gave us,
this strike could end today if bosses came to the table and bargained in good faith. But they are choosing instead to keep us out in the cold.
Nurses at 3 major hospital systems are striking. Sticking points include pay, health benefits, and staffing levels. Last night, New York Presbyterian and Mount Sinai said they presented a series of proposals, including pay raises, but the union walked away from the table. Montefiore said it's fully committed to keeping health care benefits for nurses.
New developments in Luigi Mangione's federal case. A trial date has been set with jury selection slated for September 8th. If it ends up being a non-capital case, opening statements will be October 13th. But if the judge allows prosecutors to seek the death penalty, openings wouldn't be until January 11th of 2027. Mangione is accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson and has pleaded not guilty to both state and federal charges. Stabbed to death in his own home, a Mamaroneck father was murdered in 2007, and to this day, his killer remains at large.
In tonight's Cold Case with Alice Gaynor, she's taking a closer look at the murder of Stephen Spina, and she has new information about possible suspects. We're also going to hear from Tony Aiello. He covered this story when it first happened. The reason why we're even featuring this case is because one of you, our viewers, reached out suggesting we should take a closer look.
So you contacted us wanting us to highlight this case. So how has this affected you?
I mean, he was a great guy. He was a good friend. And you want at least to have his family have some sort of, resolution to what's going on, so they know and can put it behind them. You see it on, John Walsh's America's Most Wanted, and I saw you guys were doing it, and I said, it's a local story, so maybe they'll do something, maybe it'll shed some light, maybe someone will come forward.
18 years, and I just remember even a month after this happened, still in 2007, people were starting to get antsy. When are we going to have a development? Why hasn't there been an arrest? And now 18 years later, it's one of the most significant cold cases in Westchester County, without a doubt.
Well, join us tonight during our 11 p.m. newscast to watch the latest in this case. The FBI has captured one of its most wanted fugitives, former Olympic snowboarder and alleged drug kingpin Ryan Wedding. Authorities say the 44-year-old Canadian national turned himself into custody in Mexico on Thursday night, where he is believed to have been hiding for over a decade. Prosecutors allege the so-called modern-day El Chapo funneled approximately 60 tons of cocaine each year from overseas to the U.S. and Canada as a member of the Sinaloa Mexican drug cartel. FBI Director Kash Patel revealed Wedding was also wanted for orchestrating multiple murders of victims and government witnesses.
This individual and his organization and the Sinaloa cartel poured narcotics into the streets of North America and killed too many of our youth and corrupted too many of our citizens.
Wedding participated in the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. He's being held at a facility in Central California and is expected to make his first court appearance Monday.
It's not the calm before the storm, it's the cold before the storm today. Uncomfortably, dangerously cold. Want to limit time outside, and if you are going, just layer up. And then gear up, because you've got heavy snow with some mixing. That means an element of icing, sleet or freezing rain for the city and points south and east. And then it's just cold and stays that way. We're below freezing right through the end of next week. Please be careful and think warm thoughts.
No matter how much snow the city gets, Monday won't be a snow day for New York City public school students. It's likely a system-wide pivot to remote learning instead.
But the last time the city attempted to go remote, fully remote, the system crashed.
I would like to roll the snowman sled. I would like to drink hot cocoa.
Unfortunately for first grader Harper, the perfect snow day seems to be a thing of the past in New York City public schools.
Because of the number of holidays that New York City has in its school that year, which is the most of any school system, we are very tight on our schedules. So we have to pivot to remote. That's why the traditional snow days are gone.
Michael Mulgrew, the president of the Teachers Union, says teachers are trained in remote learning before each school year. Last time the school system went fully remote for a snowstorm in February of 2024, the amount of students logging in at once crashed the system. Parents, like Harper's, were then forced to try and help.
Now that we have a child in elementary and middle school, we're going to be dealing with it on 2 levels at 2 schools while we're both trying to do our day jobs.
Once we make a final decision as to what it will look like on Monday, we will communicate that clearly and directly.
We're going to make that decision with enough time for families to be able to plan for the next day.
Remote learning on Monday would provide a big first test for new City Schools Chancellor Kamar Samuels.
Tell me why you think we're in a better place if that's the route that you need to take come Monday.
I think we've done several tests of the system since then, but most importantly, as we think about if we have to do this, the idea of staggering the start time is really important.
Monday was already scheduled to be what's called a professional development day for teachers, meaning high schools and schools 6 through 12 only are closed. So a true test of remote learning may have to wait. And by the way, the chancellor did say Friday that parents will be notified on the school system's decision on this by tomorrow, Sunday, at noon.
I know the parents are waiting. They want to get prepared and know where they'll have to send their children, if they're going to school, if they need childcare.
Yep, and they're really valuing different things in this decision. The safety of the students, obviously, in keeping them home if the weather's really bad, but also the safety that schools provide.
Right.
And I did ask the chancellor if he considered at any point telling students on Friday so that they could be told by the teachers and bring the information home with them to prepare for remote, but it seems like Sunday is the day to await that announcement.
And we'll keep you updated on what the future may hold for New York City students. You can also find our complete weather coverage on our website, cbsnewyork.com. With this weekend's storm, organizers of some of the big conventions are grateful to be indoors.
And Dave Carlin has more.
Oh, yeah. Arlington Malone of the South Bronx and other visitors to the Discover Boating New York Boat Show can pretend it's summer here inside the Javits Center.
Nothing better than this. Makes me think about yachts and touring, the sound, getting ready for some fishing during the summer. I can't wait.
When it's cold out, everybody comes here to think about, you know, the good weather coming. They bring their children, they're having a great time going on and off all the boats.
Boat enthusiasts are learning that this event will end a little earlier on Sunday, 3 hours earlier, 3 p.m. instead of 6 p.m.
We're going to be here and keep our heads up and see what we can do.
Broadway Con 2026 is underway. The 3-day event started Friday at the New York Westin Times Square. Nicole Stevenson of Washington Heights spent some time at the booth for T-Man Tarot. Knowing a storm is coming will not change her Sunday plans.
That's showbiz, baby.
You'll be here, no matter what.
Yeah.
Premonition for the snowstorm.
Uh-oh, not the tower card. Snow might cause a little chaos and destruction, but we're gonna be here, so no matter what, show up, friends.
I'm kind of nervous, but I'm really excited to see what comes out of it. I believe that they're gonna come, and if they do, it'll be amazing because I'll be here waiting for them.
And if they don't?
If they don't, I'll still be here waiting for them.
And who knows, maybe snow will drive up attendance. Times Square tourists should know Broadway people will always provide warm welcomes when it's cold. Dave Carlin, CBS News, New York.
You know, the snow may be soft, but New Yorkers are not.
No, absolutely not. And Times Square, I mean, I haven't seen it quiet. It was quiet for a little stretch of COVID, but you know what? If there's snow on the ground, I don't think it's going to stop folks from running around Times Square.
We have much more news still ahead, including another check of your first alert forecast with John Elliott.
This is CBS News, New York.
So you know the storm is coming. Let's put together the pieces to kind of set the table for this challenging period of weather. So today it's all about the cold. I mean, dangerously cold, widespread sub-zero wind chills, and wind chills struggling to even hit the 10-degree mark for your day today. But we're staying dry, okay? I mean, you can get things done. Just layer up and just make sure you're in place and ready for Sunday into Monday morning early. Parts of the area we see some sleet or freezing on contact. All the elements are there for just kind of this really nasty buffet. I mean, futurecast wind chills. I just want to show you. Tonight, you're at 4 overnight. While we're waiting for the storm, you're right there in the single-digit or sub-zero area. And then as we set our sights on Monday afternoon, finally a little warm air aloft. That brings in the chance of icing for the Jersey Shore. Big picture, big numbers to the north and west, where it starts cold, stays cold, no mixing. Where you see 8 to 12, that's no great break because you're mixing in that ice. And then more widespread icing will tap down totals. So you may have more widespread single-digit totals there as opposed to the double digits. And then on Sunday, between 3 to 8, that's when the snow rolls in. And then 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., snowfall rates go up. That is the most challenging period of the storm. And then 2 p.m. onward, it's just all of this cold air we're left with. So we've got all snow north and west, some mixing south and east, and then whatever falls sticks around because numbers are going to stay so low. 18 will never feel like it today, but it's dry. 22 tomorrow, you're going to be dealing with snow. Snowfall rates worst in the middle part of the day. We're talking 1 to 2 inch snowfall rates per hour. Possible. And then Monday, it's early snow, and then you're just left with this lingering cold air mass.
This storm will cause problems for drivers who normally park on the street. Streets need to be clear so plows can get through. Naomi Ruckham went to New Jersey, where folks are already making alternative parking plans.
It's hard to miss the messaging in Edison, New Jersey. Large flashing lights through the heart of town read, "Park in the street, ticket, you'll meet." And on social media, Mayor Sam Joshi didn't mince words.
Get your car off the roads for the upcoming snowstorm.
The township will start enforcing the ordinance Saturday for the first time in more than a decade. Cars parked on snow routes will be ticketed or, more likely, towed.
This is not about punishment. It is about clearing our roads safely and efficiently and making this work for all of Edison Township residents.
But as of Friday night, plenty of Edison drivers had yet to move their vehicles. Piyush Kunwar parked his SUV in his driveway, but his family's other car will have to relocate.
Maybe we'll ask around our neighbors, and then if they have like any vacant spots, then we might just request them if we can, park in their parking spot.
And if no one has anything?
I'm not sure. Maybe we can just put our car in front of our lawn, that's the only way that we have.
Surrounding local governments, including in Linden, Freehold, and New Brunswick, are issuing similar warnings, telling drivers to move their cars before the first flakes fall. Some townships are also designating free parking lots for drivers who need to move but have nowhere else to go. In Edison, New Jersey, Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Well, in Connecticut, Governor Lamont gave an update on preparations in his state. He echoed much of what other officials have said. Stay home if you can.
Got 650 plows ready to go, 900 drivers. These guys are going to be going on 12-hour shifts. Leave them alone. Stay off the road. Let them get the job done. There's still 250 crews on standby by the utilities ready to protect you as well. So stay safe, stay home, stay off the roads.
All right, but some of you may have to drive. The extreme cold and snow can cause major headaches. Nick Calloway talked with the pros about how to keep your car working safely.
With a major storm on the horizon, many drivers are planning to hunker down.
Basically just staying off the roads. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
Authorities are urging people to stay in, but if you do have to get out on the roads this weekend, basic car maintenance can go a long way.
You check your air pressures, make sure they're good. Make sure you've had a service recently done, your brakes are good, your tire tread is okay. All the basics, washer fluid, make sure that's topped off.
Alex Grazioli is manager of the Paul Miller Collision Center in Wayne, New Jersey. The shop gets very busy during a snowstorm.
A lot of front-end impacts, a lot of people miscalculate the roads, so they'll think it's okay, but it ends up being icy.
AAA urges drivers to keep a cold weather emergency kit in their cars, including warm clothing, blankets, water and food, extra chargers, an ice scraper, and any medications they may need during the event of an emergency. It's not just the snow. The plunging temperatures can cause major problems at home. Ed Irapino owns First Choice Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical in Metuchen. He recommends insulating exposed pipes to keep them from bursting. As for this weekend,
always recommend keeping some water maybe trickling if you have some troubled areas in the house. Always know where your water main shutoff is in case a pipe does burst. You could quickly shut the water main off to the house and give us a call.
If your car is snowed in and you need to get out, be sure to clear any snow away from the tailpipe area before you start the car. While you're at it, go ahead and clear off that backup camera. And be sure to remove any snow from the hood and the roof of the vehicle before you hit the road. In Wayne, New Jersey, Nick Calloway, CBS News, New York.
And sticking in New Jersey, as snow and ice remain a concern, Jersey officials are making sure utility companies are stepping up their staffing.
We are ensuring that they are prepared for this storm, that they have additional crews that are available if there are outages, that they have additional vehicles that can be on the road to address any outage issues.
And Con Ed is mobilizing crews in the city and Westchester as well. As always, utility companies are reminding customers to stay clear of downed wires should you see them and report them directly to the company. And while the snow is still hours away from us, it's already falling in Texas and Oklahoma.
Here's some of what it looks like in Texas. The road is coated with snow. The massive winter storm has roughly 180 million people under a winter storm warning all the way from the Rockies to our doorstep. At least 17 states and D.C. have declared states of emergency.
And don't forget to send us your snow photos this weekend in your neck of the woods. Just scan the QR code there on your screen and you very well might see them on air. And stay with us for continuing coverage of the winter storm. Our First Alert weather team will keep you up to date all weekend long. You can also see our live radar and forecast anytime on the CBS News app. And overnight, injuries were reported after a fire in the Bronx. This is Citizen app video from the scene. Crews rushed to the building on the Cross Bronx Expressway in the Unionport section around 11:30 last night. We're told 2 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries, and an FDNY firefighter also suffered minor injuries. No word yet on what caused the fire.
Well, today, families and friends will say their final goodbyes to New Jersey's former acting governor Richard Codey. His funeral mass is scheduled for today at the Cathedral Basilica of the Sacred Heart. Codey became known as the accidental governor, taking office when former Governor Jim McGreevey stepped down in 2004. He served in the legislature for more than 50 years. Richard Codey was 79 years old. Time for a quick break, but coming up next, we'll have another check of your First Alert forecast. You're streaming CBS News New York. If you head out to shovel this weekend, please take it easy. Research shows there's a connection between shoveling snow and increased risk of heart attack. Cardiologists recommend a pre-shoveling warm-up to get your blood pumping and say it's important to know the warning signs: chest pain, pressure or tightness in the chest, or shortness of breath. If you feel any of those symptoms, stop and go rest.
Symptoms come on suddenly after they're already inside, then we certainly recommend patients call 911 and seek medical attention, because we'd rather be safe than sorry.
Well, the American Heart Association says if you have heart disease, have someone else do it. Don't go out there and try to remove the snow yourself. This storm will also cause problems for any drivers who normally park on the street as snow emergencies take effect to make room for plows in Edison, New Jersey. The township set up large flashing signs through the heart of the town that read, "Park in the street, ticket you'll meet." On social media, the mayor posted a video warning residents about the ordinance, which requires drivers to move their cars off snow routes when the snow starts. It's the first time Edison has used this ordinance in more than a decade. Cars that don't move will be ticketed or more likely towed.
This is not about punishment. It is about clearing our roads safely and efficiently and making this work for all of Edison Township residents.
Surrounding local governments, including Freehold, New Brunswick, and Linden, are issuing similar warnings. Some townships are also designating free parking lots for drivers who need a place to park.
And between the dry, freezing winds today and the windy conditions that will follow in tomorrow's storm, these will be difficult conditions to fight fires in. So here's what the FDNY is urging New Yorkers do. Use space heaters safely by placing them on flat surfaces at least 3 feet away from anything flammable. Install smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. Test them to make sure they're working. Also, stock up on essentials and create a family emergency plan so that everyone knows what to do should one arise.
It's not the calm before the storm, it's the cold before the storm today. Uncomfortably, dangerously cold. Want to limit time outside. And if you are going, just layer up. And then gear up because you got heavy snow with some mixing. That means an element of icing, sleet or freezing rain for the city in points south and east. And then it's just cold and stays that way. We're below freezing right through the end of next week. Please be careful and think warm thoughts.
Well, the health department is evaluating an apartment complex on the Upper East Side after they say 2 residents were diagnosed with Legionnaires' disease in the span of a year. The Cherokee complex stretches between 77th and 78th Streets off of York Avenue. The health department says this is not an outbreak, but it's working with building management to test the water for Legionella bacteria. Notices are posted alerting tenants that those with pre-existing conditions should not use the hot water.
It's a little concerning. I feel like they should definitely get on it soon because I don't want to feel anxious when I'm taking a shower.
It's in the very back of my mind. Yeah. If I let it creep to the forefront of my mind, I think I might go insane.
A health department spokesperson told us in a statement, quote, "When we are conducting a building evaluation like this one, there is no risk to the surrounding community."
The U.S. officially split from the World Health Organization. President Trump says the U.S. wasn't getting a fair return on its investment. Last year, he signed an executive order announcing the split. By law, the U.S. had to give 1 year's notice and paying all outstanding fees. Despite the breakup, the U.S. says it will continue to work with other countries on global health issues.